Welcome to Sprinkle with Hope podcast and your host Shane. Today it's just Jason and I. You're stuck with us. We don't have a guest, but we wanted to give you a message that we thought was important for the time. So we're going to be talking about living in the moment. Some might refer to that as mindfulness or being mindful of your surroundings. We're going to talk about that. You probably know by now that Jason and I love quotes. So I'm going to hit you with two right off the bat. This one is anonymous. I don't know where it came from, but I thought it was just awesome. It says, "Be where you are, otherwise you'll miss your life." And I just love that. I love that it's a reminder to be where we are at. If we're not there in that moment, then we might be missing our whole life, which I just thought that was so awesome. The second quote that I want to share is from Dan Custer. He's an author. And he says, "Every morning is a fresh beginning. Every day is the world made new. Today is a new day. Today is my world made new. I have lived all my life up to this moment to come to this day. This moment, this day, is as good as any moment in all eternity. I shall make of this day, each moment, a heaven on earth. This is my day of opportunity." I just thought, again, that we love quotes. We love sharing others' ideas and thoughts. And so I wanted to start with that, with those two quotes. And I just love them. I love those two quotes.
So I'm going to hit you with a quote as well, because why not? Shane and I love quotes. So mine comes from Wayne Dyer, and he said, "Stop acting as if life is a rehearsal. Live this day as if it were your last. The past is over and gone. The future is not guaranteed." And I love that because it's true. We're not guaranteed to have tomorrow. So live today as if this is all we got. Make it count. Um, you know, as I was kind of putting these thoughts together about living in the moment, one of the things that kind of struck me was thinking about how Shane and I, we love vacations, right? We always want to be on vacation and want to be somewhere on an island. But have you ever been in a situation when you're at work thinking about vacation, but when you're on vacation, you're thinking about work?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that the case, right? Why can't you just be on vacation and enjoy vacation? And when you're at work, enjoy being at work. So just something that kind of came to my mind as I was thinking about this is I've had that happen to me in the past where I've like, oh, I've got so much to do at work, but you're on vacation, enjoy it, right? So I've learned to kind of deal with that. Live in the moment you are currently. It is the only thing you have right now. So don't get caught up thinking about the past or too much about the future. Bring yourself back to present. And one of the things that I was thinking about is be present in your own life. Be your present to yourself, right? Bring yourself into the picture. Be ready for each day, that new day that you have, and be present in your own life.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I'm sure you know, our listeners, that we love quotes. I wanted to share, it's not a quote, but I came across a song by Jason Mraz, and it's called "Living in the Moment." And so I just wanted to read some of his lyrics because I thought, again, it's just I love hearing other people and their thoughts about how to improve our lives. So this is what he says in his song "Living in the Moment" by Jason Mraz. "I will not waste my days making up all kinds of ways to worry about all the things that will not happen to me. So I just let go of what I know I don't know. And I know I'm only doing this by living in the moment, living our life easy and breezy, with peace in mind, with peace in my heart. Living in the moment, I'm letting myself off all the things I've done. I let go my past go past, and now I'm having more fun. I'm letting go of thoughts that do not make me strong. And I believe this way can be the same for everyone." And I just thought that kind of wrapped up my own thoughts about living in the moment, that he's saying, just let go of all those things that aren't making you strong, that are holding your thoughts back. Just let go of all those and live in the moment right now. I had some questions that I wanted to just pose to everyone to think about as we talk about these things. How often do you enjoy what you're doing right now? Or how are you or are you too busy thinking about getting things done and don't give yourself a chance to enjoy what you're doing? Kind of like what Jason was saying, are we on a vacation and thinking about all the things that are happening at work or that we need to get to that? Are you distracted by thoughts of Monday morning that you spoil the time spent on your weekend? So sometimes people think, oh, we've gotten to Friday, and so we're so happy that we have all this time on the weekend, but yet all the time on the weekend, we're thinking about the things that we have to do maybe at work on Monday morning. And so we're not enjoying the time that we have right then. Some things that I've thought that would really help us live in the moment or being mindful is to simply smile. I think often we forget that that simple act will will change the way that we see things right now. If we just smile, we can fully embrace the time that we have right now. I've shared with you guys in the past that I wake up every morning and I tell myself, Happy New Day. I don't wait till New Year's Eve or New Year's Day to wish myself a happy New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I do it every single day. I wake up and say, Happy New Day. It sets my day up well for me because I know it's another opportunity to do what I want to do. And I can take those opportunities and do whatever I want with them. Along with that, we can simply give thanks. We can be thankful for the things that we have right now. I can be grateful that I woke up this morning, that we're talking. I'm grateful that I can see, that I can speak, all of those things. Something else that we've talked a lot about in several podcasts is perform random acts of kindness to other people. So that might seem a little bit weird, like, well, how is that embracing my right now? Well, it's because you're living, we're not just here to live our lives, we're here also to help other people. And I believe when we're stretching out our arms and reaching out our hands to other people, that we're also living life together. That that's we're all learning and growing and improving all together. And so those were just some thoughts that I had that maybe we can focus on those small, simple things that will help us to embrace the now.
That's awesome. I love that. And I'm going to expound on some of those things just a little bit and talk about some of the stuff as well. But I have another quote for you. Author Mirko Thum tells us this about present moment. The present moment is the only thing where there is no time. It is the point between past and future. It is always there, and it is the only point we can access in time. Everything that happens happens in the present moment. Everything that ever happened and will ever happen can only happen in the present moment. It is impossible for anything to exist outside of it. And I just like that because it brought everything kind of back to this is what I can control right in front of me right now. I can't control what happened even 5 minutes ago. And I most certainly can't maybe even change what's going to happen 5 minutes from now. And so the only thing I can be happy with is what is going on exactly right now. So one of the things that are benefits of being present or living in the moment, it actually helps to cut down on worry and anxiety, since the only thing you're thinking about is the here and now. So if you're worried about tomorrow, that could possibly bring up worry and anxiety and thinking about things that could possibly go wrong. Um, if you're thinking about the past, you could have regret and all of these other issues that might come up as well. But if I'm living in the present moment, I'm happy to be, talking to Shane about this particular subject. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be here right now and the sights and smells that I see. So here's some of the things that I thought of that can help us live in the present moment. Shane said a few, and I'm going to say my few. One of the things I thought about was just smiling. If you smile, that means you're happy in this particular moment and you're living in today. The other one that I thought about was soaking up the moment. And so along with that would be things like, what are your emotions? What are your sights, sounds, people you're surrounded by? What's going on around you? And just kind of soaking that in while you're thinking about it. Um, Forgive past hurts, people that have maybe caused you harm or whatever. That can be a way to live in the present moment, because you're not going to think about that. You're just going to say, you know what? I forgive that person for hurting me in the past. I'm just going to move on. The other one that I thought about was love your job. We were talking about it. If you're on vacation thinking about your job and then you're at your job thinking about vacation, seems like kind of an oxymoron. But why is it, and Shane kind of mentioned this a little bit, but why is it that sometimes we just want to survive in our jobs? If you work for the weekend, so I want to break this down for you a little bit. 71% of your life is decided at that work, at your job. You're there 5 days, or roughly, we work, different hours than that. But if you put 40 hours in a week, that's 71% of your life during the week is taken up at a job. So why would you not enjoy that or try to make the best of it and find joy in it? So I thought that was kind of a cool little analogy about loving your job. Stop worrying, quit worrying about things outside of your control. Think about what you can do and then do that. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention was think of solutions, not problems. Thinking about solutions allows you to kind of come back to, okay, what am I dealing with right now that I can control and change and affect? Mm-hmm. If you are thinking about problems, typically that's something that's already either happened or may come up, right? You're thinking, oh, this problem could arise, or man, I really messed that up last week, or something like that. Let that go. Think of solutions. What can I do today that's going to be a solution to the problem that I'm having?
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. I'm going to hit you with another quote, because we love quotes. So this one is from Pema Chodron. She is a Buddhist nun. She says, welcome the present moment as if you had invited it. It is all we ever have, so we might as well work with it rather than struggling against it. We might as well make it our friend and teacher rather than our enemy. I just thought that's so awesome. You just welcome the present moment as if you had invited it into your life. One other thing I wanted to share about living in the present moment is we like to share also, like we've shared the lemon exercise and things like that. Well, I thought, how could we live better in the moment? And that's tapping into our senses, our 5 senses. So think about it as if you had a raisin. You have a raisin, and the first thing you do is you observe, you're looking at the appearance of it, you're noticing all the crevices and everything around that raisin. So you're in your moment, you're seeing things. In this case, you're looking at the raisin, and you're looking at what it's all about. Then you notice how it feels in your hand. So you're seeing and you're touching the raisin. And you just notice how it feels, and just those type of things. The next thing, you put it up to your nose to smell it, to see your sense of smell. Then you put the raisin in your mouth. So as you're biting it and you're tasting it, you're also hearing the sounds that you're hearing and those type of things. And so those are tapping into all your senses. You can do the same thing with the moment. As much as you can, tap into those 5 senses and see what's going on around you, hear what's going on around you. Maybe if you can taste that, whatever, if you're in a point where you're tasting something, eating something. I'm not very good at this, by enjoying each bite. I even saw someone say, every time you take a bite, put your spoon or your fork down. So you're pausing your mind for a second to realize I'm taking some food and I'm enjoying that moment. And then if you're out in nature, you're smelling flowers or trees or the ocean or whatever it be, that you're tapping into all those senses. And I think that will help us to really embrace that moment. It's like, let's say that we're on vacation and we don't want to worry about work. And let's say we're sitting on the beach, so we can smell the ocean. We can feel the sand on our between our toes. We can feel the sun hitting us. Um, and maybe we're eating pineapple or something.
Mm.
So you see, you can instantly put yourself into that situation, but you don't have to be sitting on a beach in Bora Bora to enjoy the moment. You could now be at work and hearing the people that you work around and enjoying that moment, that you have coworkers that you really enjoy working with, maybe the sound of machines that are running. So that's reminding yourself that I have a job. I'm so thankful for that. Maybe you're taking a break at lunch and you're sharing a meal with your coworkers, but really taste each one of those bites and really embracing those moments. That's all I'm saying is the more you can tap into any senses that you have, I believe the better you are at embracing and living that moment.
That's awesome. I love that. And as kind of you were talking, one of the things that I was thinking about that I want to share real quick is we're not saying don't dream or don't think about those vacations and things that you want to take. That's not what we're saying.
No.
We want you to dream big, dream huge. I want to go to Bora Bora. Shane wants to go to Bora Bora. We want to sit there and eat pineapple juice, pineapple and drink pineapple juice or daiquiris, virgin daiquiris or whatever, right? But live in the moment that you're in right now. That's what we're saying. We're not saying don't dream, because we absolutely want you to dream. So I've shared this quote before and I can't remember where it came from, but it's the student is ready. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I want to kind of dissect that just a little bit. Have you ever thought of yourself being both the teacher and the student? So I really want you to think about that. And only when you come to present moment can you accept that you can be your own teacher and the student at the same time. You are teaching yourself these lessons as you are learning to slow yourself down and think about the present moment. So I just want you to think about that for just a minute, how you can be both the teacher and the student, teaching yourself about living in present moment. Neuroscientists had a study that they said 47% of your waking hours are spent thinking about something other than what you are doing right now.
Mm.
That to me was pretty eye opening. That's almost 50% of your waking hours are spent thinking about something other than what you're doing at the moment. That's crazy to me. But, we all have those thoughts, right? Like, oh man, what's going on? And, I love sports. And so I'm thinking about this big game coming up this weekend. But why aren't I enjoying the moment right now? That time will come. So I should enjoy what's happening right now. Think this thought: what is that will be gone if I don't think about right now? What is it that will be gone if I don't think about right now? I want you to think about that thought for just also another second. And then I'm going to finish off with 3 quotes. Benjamin Franklin said this: one today is worth 2 tomorrows. And I loved that quote. I thought it was awesome because I totally agree. When we think about today, it's worth those 2 tomorrows. That's awesome. Love it. Emily Dickinson was an author. She said, forever is composed of nows. And then the last one is Johann Wolfgang von Goethe said, nothing is worth more than this day. And I just wanted to close with that and let you guys know that, we are susceptible as well to not living in present moment. We've had times in our life where we haven't, but Shane and I have really tried to foster over the last couple of years, really soaking in each day, each new day, being happy about it and excited for the day to come and what is going to happen today, and just thinking, what can we do differently, and what's going to happen if I am thinking about tomorrow? What am I going to miss? I could miss something really amazing, a great moment with my son, or one of my sons, or with my brother, or with my wife, or something like that, or a coworker if I'm at work. I could miss a great opportunity to further those relationships, to bring a better thing to that relationship than I would if I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, that's so true. I was just thinking one last thought, and then I surprise have a quote to finish. But what we're talking about is living in the moment, and often we've heard people say, "Oh, I'm really good at multitasking." And if we're talking about living in the moment, multitasking is not really the best solution to living in that moment. You could be missing, like Jason's saying, something because you're focused on doing all these things at the same time, and you're not focused on any of them really, actually, if you think about it, when you're doing that. So that's another thought that I had. Just be cautious about how often you multitask, and really just embrace the moment like you invited it into your life. And especially when you're outside of work and you have times where you're maybe on vacation or just spending time with your family, really embrace those. I'm not saying don't do that at work, but when we're outside of that work, that 30% of our life right now, then those of us who work, that really take those times to embrace the moment and don't let any of those moments pass you by. My last quote is by Germany Kent, and she has been a broadcaster and news reporter and all these things. She's amazing. If you don't know about her, she's really cool. But she says, don't live the same day over and over again and call that a life. Life is about evolving mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And I couldn't have said it any better. So thank you, Germany Kent, for that. And really just embrace each moment and live life evolving mentally, spiritually, and emotionally.